My journey began in a small little town of Chhattisgarh in central India. I was born there. Our hope is that in coming times we would be able to build an institute which will start with training people in pediatric cardiac skills.
It is, of course, a profound honor and a privilege to be here today with you this evening for a special occasion, one that celebrates not just human achievement, but the very essence of love in action. Tonight's gathering is more than just a moment to speak. It is a sacred space to connect, to reason, to reflect, and to honor a vision that is transforming lives in Fiji and all over the world. Our theme tonight begins with one word, Talanoa. In our Fijian context, Talanoa speaks to open dialogue, shared understanding, and compassionate listening. It is a deeply held cultural expression of storytelling and solution finding, and it is exactly what our government believes in: the power of conversation to find common ground, develop a collective vision, and solve our shared challenges. Of course, government cannot do it alone or cannot move a country forward alone. It takes the collective will and effort of everyone. Our people, private sector, non-profits, and faith-based organizations. This evening is a testament to what is possible when we come together with one heart and one purpose to serve. And tonight, we honor a man who is leading this purpose with divine clarity. Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, on behalf of the people of Fiji, I extend the warmest welcome and express our deepest gratitude to you for your immense contribution, not just to Fiji, but to humanity. Your life, sir, is a powerful testimony to what it means to live for others. For Mudanhali near Bangalore in India, the epicenter of this global humanitarian service, to here in the Pacific, your vision and leadership have brought hope where once there was despair, and healing where once there was pain. In India, the 360-bed multi-speciality hospital, I am told, serves more than 1,500 patients daily, entirely free of charge. It is also home to the world's first completely free medical university, launched under the guidance In Rural for Rural, inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, His Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi, last year. That vision of serving the underserved has now crossed the oceans to Fiji, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, and beyond. And here in Fiji, that same light of service shines brightly through the Sai Prema Foundation and the Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital, the first of its kind in the Pacific. Before this hospital, or this very special hospital, a child born with heart defect had one of two harsh realities: an unaffordable trip overseas or no treatment at all. Families were forced to choose between financial ruin or the life of the child. That decision is a decision absolutely no parent should ever face. Today, thanks to the Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital, that burden has been lifted. Children who once had no hope of a future can now have one. Families who once cried tears of fear weep with joy. And the most extraordinary part of this reality is it's completely free of charge. This hospital does not and never will have a billing counter. It's not just generosity, it's love in action. Over 365 life-saving heart surgeries have been performed on Fijian and Pacific Island children. More than 30,000 heart screenings have been conducted, and over 40,000 Fijians have received free health care through the Foundation's outreach and medical services. This is not just charity, this is dignity restored, this is humanity in its highest form. We are proud as a government to support this transformative work. The grant provided to the Foundation is a very, very small gesture of our appreciation and our commitment to work hand in hand with organizations who share the vision, or our vision, a vision where healthcare is not a privilege but a right. Regardless of everyone's background or income or status, every Fijian deserves the gift of life. I have to say, it is still very much a work in progress in our beloved country. We must never take this gift for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing something very historic. The largest healthcare investment ever made by an NGO in our nation's history. A state-of-the-art cardiac hospital right here in the heart of the Pacific. Not just for profit, but for people. International surgeons, as you've seen on the videos, have come across the world, from the United States, the United Kingdom, Europe, Asia, and the Pacific, and have answered this call. Fijian doctors and nurses are being trained. Knowledge is being transferred. A generation of healthcare professionals are being nurtured in our very backyard. And in all of this lies the vision of Sadguru: to love all, serve all, hurt never. As a government, we will continue to Talanoa with our people, with our partners, with our faith leaders, and with organizations like Sai Prema Foundation, because real change only happens when we move forward together. So tonight, as we share stories, as we listen, and as we speak from the heart, let us renew our collective commitment to ensure no child is left behind, to make healthcare accessible to all, to be the kind of nation that sees the pain of its people and responds with love. May we never forget that it takes us all, government, the private sector, civil society, to build Fiji, to build the Fiji we dream of. And may the work of the Sai Prema Foundation continue to inspire, to uplift, and to heal. God bless us all. God bless the Sai Prema Foundation. God bless Sai Madhusudan Sai for your contributions. And God bless the Republic of Fiji.
Two thoughts that came into my mind as I watched the videos, and the feeling as we gathered here this evening, is that this is never about yourself and always look outward. So we thank you for the inspiration that we received this evening. Sri Madhusudan Sai, the Tappoo family and Sai Prema Foundation, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and government and civic leaders, His Excellencies Sunit Mehta and members of the diplomatic corps, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed honored to be part of this anniversary celebration and Talanoa Session that we're going to have this evening. As we have heard this evening, that Sri Madhusudan Sai is renowned for his extensive service projects spanning over 30 countries, focusing on providing free education, healthcare, and nutrition to undeserved communities. Who will never be inspired about that? In 2011, inspired by the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family, Sri Madhusudan Sai initiated a global humanitarian mission, which encompasses healthcare, education, nutrition. That is impressive. And we're also grateful that during this course of celebration, that we learned from the acting Prime Minister, Honorable William Walker the other day, that the government is committed to establishing Fiji's first cardiac training academy by 2026, creating a sustainable pipeline of local specialists. We rejoice with such a news. As a church, we are grateful to work closely with Sai Prema Foundation of the Children's Heart Hospital. During Christ's mortal ministry, he gave us the first and second great commandments, to love God and to love our neighbor. He then went about doing good, showing us what it truly means to care for those in need. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints strives to follow the Savior's example of love and service. The formal welfare program of the Church, announced in 1936, was created to care for members in need and strengthen their ability to become self-reliant. In 1984, the Church launched its humanitarian outreach to extend relief to millions of people throughout the world. Today, the Church continues its diligent efforts to care for both members and others in need through welfare and self-reliance initiatives, global humanitarian efforts, and volunteer service. Today is not just a celebration of bricks and mortar. It is a celebration of hope, of healing, and of the heart, both literally and symbolically. When you stand at the Sai Prema Foundation Children's Heart Hospital, you will witness a miracle, not just a medical one, but a human one. A miracle born out of love, service, and the unwavering belief that every child, no matter their background, deserves a chance at life. As we heard tonight, this hospital is the first and only super specialty cardiac hospital for children in the South Pacific. But more than that, it is a symbol of compassion without boundaries. It reminds us that healthcare should never be a privilege, but a birthright, especially for the most innocent among us. I remember the first time I entered this hospital. I was struck by the simplicity of the mission, including no billing station. No child should die because they cannot afford a surgery, close quote. That truth hit me hard. It still does. And knowing that we are part of something that changes that reality for families across Fiji and the Pacific is something I carry with pride and humility. I have visited 2 of the 365 souls who were given life, one a 9-year-old. I went into his home and I asked, "How are you feeling now?" He said, "I am very happy." I turned to the mother and I asked, "How do you feel now as a mother?" She responded with tears. The second out of the 365 children that I visited in their home was an infant. She was just being operated on and she was jumping like a normal child. Unfortunately, as she was being healed, her mom, just a few months ago, also had to go through chemotherapy for breast cancer. She has done her 3rd chemotherapy. But can you imagine if 2 of our heroes in one family were going through the same thing? But because of what Sai Prema Foundation and the Children's Heart Hospital did, they are now focusing on the mother, and the child is also jumping around happily. Again, what did I learn from that? With all the services that were being done, it's joy in the morning It's joy in the afternoon. It's joy in the evening for the parents and family. As a church, we have funded quite a few projects and assisted in a very, very small way. We have assisted with travel and accommodation costs for families of children undergoing surgery, benefiting up to 20 families. We have funded a high-grade steam sterilizer to ensure proper sterilization for surgical procedures. We have provided 25 syringe infusion pumps to support accurate medication dosing during and after complex pediatric heart surgeries. We have supported the acquisition of a portable echocardiogram machine to expand mobile screening capacity across Fiji and the Pacific, enabling screening of up to 14,000 additional children annually. Tonight, I'm happy to announce that 3 days ago, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints approved the funding of the purchase of a GE Vivid 95 ultrasound scanner costing $504,000 to support increasing demand for heart screenings and surgeries. The new units will be installed in the surgical suite, freeing the existing scanner for mobile and in-hospital use. So in total, since working together in partnership with the Sai Prema Foundation, the total contribution and assistance we have made will be totaling over $1 million. The amount probably something that we need not focus on, because it's the health and the life of individuals that we need to focus on. So to that in mind, to the Tappoo family and entire Sai Prema Foundation family, thank you. Your tireless work, your humility, and your dedication have made what once seemed impossible a living reality. To the doctors, nurses, and volunteers, your hands heal and repair, but it's your hearts that truly make the difference. Thank you for giving these children not only a healthier future, but also the warmth and comfort that only true caregivers can provide. To the parents, we see you, we hear you, we honor your strength, your prayers, and your faith. And to the children, you are our heroes. You remind us every day of resilience, of courage, and of the sheer power of a smile. Fiji is proud to be the home of this sacred space. This hospital does not only serve Fijian children, it stands ready to help our brothers and sisters across the Pacific. It is a beacon of regional unity and humanity. Let today remind us that when we come together with love, with purpose, and with the spirit of service, nothing is beyond reach. When ye are in the service of your fellow beings, ye are only in the service of your God. The beating hearts of these children will echo the message of this place for generations to come. Love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Vinakabolevu, thank you, and may the work of Sai Prema Foundation continue to inspire, heal, and uplift our world. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Trade, Cooperatives, Small and Medium Enterprises and Communications, Honorable Manoa Kamikamida, revered Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai Ji, Global Humanitarian Leader and founder of the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital, Elder Daniela Vakolo, the Pacific President of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, Mr. Sumit Tappoo, Chairman of the Hospital and Director of the Sai Prema Foundation, Fiji, Dr. Krupali Tappoo, members of the Tappoo family, distinguished guests, entire team and volunteers of Sai Prema Foundation, hospital staff, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, namaste, Pula Vinaka, and a very good evening to you all. First of all, let me thank Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Andrew Vakolo for their inspiring and beautiful words and support to the very, very important, meaningful and impactful work being done by the hospital. I would like to thank Sai Prema Foundation for this kind invitation to this wonderful Talanoa Session today evening. It's truly a pleasure to be here in the gracious presence of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai Ji and all the esteemed dignitaries present here. I would like to congratulate Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, Mr. Sumit Tappoo, and Dr. Krupali Tappoo on being awarded the highest civilian honor, Companion of the Order of Fiji, by the Honorable President at the State House yesterday. It's a truly well-deserved recognition, and I recall the gracious words of the Honorable President when he was awarding that honor to all the three esteemed dignitaries, and the high praises for the wonderful work being done in Fiji. It's an immense honor and privilege to have participated at the significant and meaningful milestone of the hospital, the third anniversary of the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital. Heartfelt congratulations to the entire team at Sai Prema Foundation Fiji, the hospital staff, volunteers, and everyone who has contributed and continues to contribute to this noble mission. I warmly welcome the announcement of the South Pacific's first Child Diabetes Care Center with the Radhika Trust, as well as the scholarships for the training of the healthcare professionals. These are meaningful initiatives that will create a lasting and a positive impact. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, the founder of the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital, whose divine vision and tireless efforts have given rise to this beacon of healing and hope. His work is a profound reminder of how one's individual and selfless service can impact the world. I wish to especially acknowledge and extend deep appreciation to Mr. Sumit Tappoo, the chairman of the hospital and director of the Sai Prema Foundation Fiji, for his unwavering dedication to his cause and to the health of the children of Fiji and the Pacific. His remarkable mobilizing efforts, particularly through music concerts, have significantly contributed to maximizing the number of life-saving surgeries performed at the facility, and I believe the latest number is 365, or it would have grown even further. And it continues, you continue to do the good work. I commend him for his inspiring work. As a prominent member of the Indian diaspora, he exemplifies the spirit of selfless service and continues to be a source of pride for the global Indian community. I'm pleased to know that beyond healthcare, the Sai Prema Foundation runs several noble initiatives. The Gift of Life program, which has facilitated hundreds of free heart surgeries, both locally and overseas, for children with congenital heart diseases. The Sai Annapurna project, which provides free food to the underprivileged. Health on Wheels, which delivers free rural medical services to remote communities. Be a hero campaign encouraging blood donation across the country. Children of God, an initiative dedicated to supporting underprivileged and specially needs children. And Educare, focused on value-based education programs for youth development. Through these initiatives, the Sai Prema Foundation Fiji has become a pillar of service and spiritual upliftment, touching thousands of lives and transforming communities with the simple but powerful philosophy of love all, serve all. The hospital stands as a shining example of what is possible when compassion and commitment meets vision and action. Established through the Sai Prema Foundation of Fiji and inspired by the grand vision of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, it's not only the first pediatric cardiac hospital in the South Pacific, but also one of the few in the world to absolutely give free surgeries and medical care to the children in need. This remarkable institution is a true symbol of Indo-Fijian friendship, of our two nations standing together, hand in hand, to uplift lives and spread light. That this humanitarian initiative originated in India and has now blossomed in Fiji fills me with immense pride as the Indian High Commissioner here in Fiji. India takes great pride in our role as the preferred partner of Fiji in the socio-economic development of the country. I am so happy to note that the human resource development and training programs funded by Government of India have helped to build a large reservoir of skilled manpower in the Pacific region. In the last year, several professionals from Fiji visited India and attended various training programs under the Indian iTech program. India has taken one of the largest projects in the entire Pacific to build a 100-bedded super speciality hospital. The project was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister of India during FIPIC 3rd Summit in May 2023 and is progressing well. I look forward to the combination of efforts with Sai Prema Foundation in the field of health cooperation to enhance the well-being of the people of Fiji. India and Fiji have also signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at advancing digital transformation through the exchange of successful population-scale digital solutions. This signifies a promising step towards strengthening Indo-Fiji relations through technology and innovation, opening doors to new opportunities for both nations in the global digital landscape. And we look forward to impactful projects with Fiji under the leadership of Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. In addition to this, the government would like to undertake several key projects aimed at enhancing the overall well-being and healthcare accessibility for the people of Fiji. The proposed initiatives include installation of desalination plants to address the critical needs for clean and safe drinking water for the rural, remote and coastal communities, provision of sea ambulances, ensuring rapid medical response and emergency transport for island and maritime region, establishment of dialysis units, offering essential life-sustaining treatment for patients with chronic kidney conditions, creation of a national emergency helpline number to provide timely and coordinated emergency assistance across the country, setting up of Jan Aushadhi Kendras, generic medicine centers aimed at making essential medication affordable and accessible to all, establishment of more yoga and wellness centers promoting preventive healthcare and holistic approach to physical and mental well-being. As the High Commissioner of India to Fiji, I reaffirm our commitment to continue strengthening the bonds between our two nations, bonds which are built on shared values, cultural harmony, and the spirit of selfless service. Let us celebrate all today, not only what has been accomplished, but what we are yet to achieve together. Dhanyawad, Vinaka Vakilevu. Have a wonderful evening and a Talanoa Session. Thank you.
Our revered founder, Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, and a very good friend of mine, Wano Kamakamida, Elder Wakolo, Your Excellency, distinguished guests who have traveled from around the world to be here over this past week as we celebrated the third anniversary of the hospital, distinguished guests from Fiji, friends and supporters of Sai Prema Foundation. As the director of the foundation, I'm just here to welcome you to this very special evening, and I thank you all for coming. The three speakers before me have spoken wonderfully and given us a lot of inspiration. And I'm sure that the Talanoa session between Krupali and Sadhguru will be very, very enlightening. The world today is going through some uncertain times. Economically, we face challenges, especially with the new policies which have been introduced. Countries around the world are having to navigate these new policies. On the other hand, we also have wars being fought around the world. We have terrorist attacks happening still. And we still have children, women and men who do not have access to health care around the world. We still live in a world where children do not have access to education. And we still live in a world where families cannot put food on the table. Increasingly, through fear, maybe brought about by COVID, families are looking only within, all over the world, looking within and how they can sustain themselves. But in this room, I must say that a lot of people here tonight are ones with their hearts open. And you all are leaders of society. Starting with our Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, who leads the way on multiple fronts and has been a wonderful support of the foundation. Elder Wakolo, thank you so much for the announcement. I think that deserves a very big round of applause. Elder, your church has been a pillar of strength for the foundation, so we're very grateful to all that you do. Your Excellency, thank you for your support as well always. But whilst we have this predicament that the world faces, we were surrounded by problems. We have one individual who's seated here today, who's going above and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, the mission, the One World, One Family mission by Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai is absolutely unprecedented. I have been involved with this mission for 10 years now. It'll be 10 years tomorrow. And I can tell you personally what transformation and work that he does. I said earlier, individuals, families, societies, nations in today's world are only thinking of themselves. They don't even go beyond the border. And here's an individual whose mission is spread across 80 countries around the world. That deserves a round of applause. And this One World, One Family is not just lip service. The impact is absolutely incredible. Let's take nutrition, for example. Michelle mentioned 10 million school-going children. 10 million school-going children are fed every single morning. Our population is 900,000, of Fiji. He feeds 10 million children every single morning. And this number, from what he very recently told me, will be increasing to much more. I think 14 million in the next few months. The impact is incredible. The healthcare mission that he has founded, the institutions established are world class. And they are for the people who do not have a voice, who do not have access to healthcare, who cannot afford. And the only fate which they're faced with is death. These children have nowhere to go. What Sadhguru has done, he's established these institutions for those who do not have access. Not only in India, all over the world. I have personally been with him to Nigeria. The impact is incredible. I've been with him to Sri Lanka. The impact is incredible. These incredible surgeries by world-class surgeons are done completely free of charge. A mother who I met in Fiji when we started this mission, I spoke to her after she had her son operated with life-saving surgery. And she said to me, I only earned $5,000 a year. And when the doctors told me that it will cost $100,000 to take my child overseas to save my child, I knew that day that I couldn't do anything about my son. And she said to me, I'm a father of 2 young daughters. This hit me right over here. She said to me, I went back to my village and I wanted to spend every day with my son, and I was waiting for him to die. No parent should face this. That because of finance, they're unable to save their children. And now because of this hospital that you've heard about, It's saving so many lives. And whilst people give myself, Krupali, and our foundation credit, the real credit goes to Sadhguru. He is our mentor, he is our inspiration, he is our guide. And it's his vision that has been manifested here in this country and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, imbibe the beautiful energy that he radiates in today's session and learn all that you can. He today has very graciously accepted our request to have this Talanoa, this session with us, an open session of question and answers. And we're very grateful to you, Sadhguru, for accepting our request. His schedules around the world are mind-blowing. In this past 2 months, he's traveled to every continent of this world, inspiring people, inspiring leaders, inspiring thought leaders, inspiring heads of state. So we're very grateful that you're here today. And yesterday, His Excellency the President of Fiji bestowed the highest honor upon Sadhguru by honoring him with the honorary companion of the Order of Fiji. And there's no one who deserves this more than him. I think we should all rise. Let's all rise and give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. I will not be now the barrier between you and this session. Thank you all for coming. May God bless you all. May God bless Fiji. May God bless our world, because we are one world, one family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sumit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's also congratulate Sumit and Dr. Krupali as well, who were also honored yesterday by His Excellency, the President or the Companion of the Order of Fiji. Let's give them also a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, well, we move to the heart of our program this evening. It's time for the Talanoa Session. In a moment, I'm going to be inviting them up on stage, but I want to use this opportunity as well to acknowledge the moderator for this session. And of course, needs no introduction, a distinguished medical doctor, acclaimed humanitarian, and one of Fiji's most respected voices in healthcare and community service. She's Dr. Krupali Tappoo. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. With that, let's get straight in to this Talanoa session.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the Talanoa session, I'd just like to mention something. This is not a fixed match. The questions that I'm going to be asking Sadhguru, he has no idea, because this is meant to be a candid session. So we're going to get into this. Sadhguru, you are a world-renowned global humanitarian, a guru, a mentor, a Sadhguru, and usually people who are of your stature have a long white beard, they have white hair, they're much older, and but you're sitting here young, dynamic, extremely educated, talented and charming, and I know you have mentioned before that you were interested in pursuing a career in medicine, or you could have really had a career in any other path, but you have chosen this path of changing the world and truly making a difference. So Sadhguru, please tell us your story in your own words.
Nisan Bula Vinaka, good evening, and thank you, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Manoa ji, and thank you to the Elder Daniela Vakola ji, His Excellency Sumit Mehta ji, and thank you to other dignitaries who are there in this room, friends of Fiji, and many international guests who are here. It's an honor to speak to all of you this evening, and your presence here, it is a sign of your solidarity towards a mission like this, which is here to serve everyone as our very own. And a special mention about the Tappoo family, especially Sumit and, of course, you, who received us very warmly 10 years ago in this island nation, this beautiful country of Fiji, with so much of love and affection that now it feels like our second home. And I keep coming back every year uninvited. I also like to, before I begin my story, I would also like to place it on record the great support that the foundation and us, all of us, have received from the government of Fiji. They have been our true partners in terms of providing this kind of healthcare to the most needy sections of the society. They granted us the land when we had none. They gave us a grant to run the hospital, and they have supported us with their nurses, doctors, paramedics from the government hospital. And I think they have always been there with the foundation. And I was telling the Honorable President yesterday that perhaps Fiji is the only country which has given the mission so much of support which we haven't received in any other country outside India. So I'm very grateful for that. I have also have to thank specially Dr. Krupali Tappoo. She mentioned that I wanted to be a doctor, but I don't think God really trusted my abilities of being a doctor. He said, "You rather build hospitals and not become a doctor." But you are a doctor. You are my hero, and you are also a hero for me because 10 years ago, when it was told to you that you must wind up all your work in Australia and come back to Fiji, your motherland, and serve this nation. I know it was a very difficult decision at that point in time because you were settled well there with a daughter working there in the Australian healthcare system and looking forward to spending the rest of your life there. But just one word, and all those who know what I mean, they will understand that what kind of leap of faith that must be for Dr. Krupali to actually abandon a growing career there and come back at this age to this land and be a part of this mission. So you truly are an inspiration for, I think, a lot of Fijians who are waiting to come back and do something for the country but feel hesitant. So you are the example for all of them. So thank you for hosting this today. I'm not done. I'm not done. To Mahen, Mayaji, the foundation members, all of them, they have all been so very kind and generous. And above all, I think their commitment to this cause of improving the lives of their fellow Fijians is truly commendable. So I really want to thank all the members of the Sai Prema Foundation. This is one of the 100 foundations that I work with around the world. So you can imagine. But this is one of the finest foundations. They are very blessed in terms of their commitment and their courage to keep up the promises they made to me, to the country, and to the world. So that takes a lot of faith, and I think they have demonstrated that. So we are very grateful to them also. Now you can continue.
Sadhguru, I'll let you continue with your story, but I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity actually to come back and really to be able to be involved in this mission. And personally, for me, it has been life-changing. It has been truly transformative, and I can't thank you enough. So gratitude from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
I think we owe it to each other. But yes, I can see you're a much happier person than before. You are always smiling. You're always looking forward to doing the next thing. And I've seen you transform in the last 10 years from very apprehensive and a worried doctor to a very confident leader of the hospital today. So I think that's been a transformative journey for you. I'm sure I've noticed that. My journey began in a small little town of Chhattisgarh in central India. I was born there. The Honorable High Commissioner would acknowledge that it's one of the most rural and remotest places in India, right? Largely a tribal community where people still live in forests. They haven't seen phones or electricity at times in such remote areas. Of course, things are changing rapidly. So when I was born a little industrial town. I did my education schooling there in the government school, because my parents were employed with the government. And after my schooling, there was this decision to be made of higher education. At that point in time, as you've already understood, that I was not capable of becoming a doctor for sure, but I never wrote an exam as well, because at that point in time, my parents perhaps were not in a position to give us private education. The government education was very competitive. And coming from a remote school in Chhattisgarh, which does not have access to high quality training and teaching, like in Delhi or Mumbai or elsewhere, there were very remote chances of me getting into a government system. So at that point of time, when we were in two minds, this beautiful opportunity came my way the from the institute at Puttaparthi, which was founded by Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who is my guru and mentor. And it was free education. So that was the carrot. And we thought, why not try this? Because another classmate of mine was going to Puttaparthi. They were very strong devotees. I wasn't so. But because this was a free education, I thought I would unburden my parents of a lot of financial commitments. Being the eldest in the family, I wanted to support them. So I decided to go to Puttaparthi. As fate would have it, it was Baba's grace that I got an admission there. I did my honors in chemistry, graduation, post graduation in chemistry, and I also did an MBA under Baba's guidance. And I was very inspired by his work and his life, who always did good to others. He also came from a very poor, remote, dry district of Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh, and he built a whole lot of things for the people there: a hospital, university. He gave water to the whole community there, over 1 million people, and he built the infrastructure around. He inspired millions around the world with his message, both spirituality and service. So that inspired me a lot, and I wanted to do something like him. He was truly my inspiration, but he was a huge giant personality of godhood, and I could not have definitely filled in his shoes. They were too big, but I really wanted to do something like that in my life. But he told me, no, you go work for some time and come back, I'll let you know. But by the time I finished working, he was, so to say, no more, and I was very crestfallen, and I did not know what to do next. That's when I prayed very hard, and I had his guidance from within, and that guidance has led me this far, because he really guided me to do what I'm doing today. And I think that is the blessing that is making this mission grow every day. And when I look back, and in the last 10 years or 12 years since 2012, really, when we started this in a big way, it's a long journey. It sometimes is unbelievable. I have to pinch myself to even believe that all this has happened. Looks like a dream. But I know it's not a dream, because it's there for all to see and experience. But you people are the real heroes, real people behind this mission. Every time I've told Sumit or to you or anybody here, this needs to be done, this is the next thing that we need to do, nobody has ever questioned or doubted or even expressed their concerns. Because Sumit is not a doctor like you, he's not even a hospital builder, not even a builder, he's just a singer. But imagine a Bollywood singer learns how to build a hospital, from the medical part of it to the infrastructure to all the coordination with various vendors, agencies, export and import of equipment and consumables, name it. And that too through COVID. This hospital was inaugurated in 2022, but the construction started in 2020, right in the thick of the COVID pandemic. But he stayed, on the ground, and he worked hard. So also all the members of the foundation and those who contributed generously from around the world. So this is how it has come this far. Definitely God's divine blessings, but also human instrumentation. And that is how we have come this far. And this is the story that repeats in every country. In Nigeria, there is another Sumit. In Sri Lanka, there is another Sumit. In Africa, there is, or in Argentina, there is another. So there are people like this behind this mission who truly are very dedicated, and that's how we have come this far. And this is the long and short of where we are, why we are here.
Sadhguru, I'd just like to mention I had the privilege of meeting Sathya Sai Baba as well, and had an interview with him in 2007. And I have to say that Sathya Sai Baba did some amazing and incredible work in India. But you know, what you are doing in over 80 countries is absolutely mind-boggling and incredible. So I think, and you mentioned about, not becoming a doctor, but what you are doing is building hospitals, schools, institutions, medical colleges, and I don't think that you can do any more than that. You're the doctor of doctors, I would say. So
makes me feel good.
So a big round of applause for Sadhguru, please. So I'd like to say that, Sadhguru, your impact upon Fiji has been really incredible. You're the founder of Prema Foundation Fiji, and we have several initiatives in healthcare, education, and nutrition. And it's become, the premier NGO here in Fiji. And you founded, South Pacific's first children's heart hospital. There's no billing counter. And what more you said on the occasion of our 3rd anniversary was about the announcement of the training institution. And I mean, you're going to take this to a new height. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, wanting to train medical professionals in the field of pediatric cardiac care and other areas as well. And so a question I have is, why Fiji, and what is your vision for this beautiful land?
Yeah, you're right. I think we realized very soon that bringing doctors all the time from other countries is not a permanent solution. We must create capacities within the country, which means a lot has to be invested in training and development, research and innovation. All this is possible if you create an academic environment around the hospital. And since we have built a medical school in India, which is totally free of cost, that has enabled a lot of rural students, underprivileged students, to access medical education. And they are very bright and very brilliant. Same thing can be done here, of course, in phases. Our hope is that in coming times, we would be able to build an institute which will start with training people in pediatric cardiac skills. That would be surgery, ICU care, or even consultations and all other things that go with it. So with that, we would begin, and this is a super specialty training. And after that, as we keep growing, hopefully we'll bring it down to graduate training and even below. So our idea is that use the knowledge and the abilities of all these doctors who are coming from around the world to train people here. So when they come here, they just don't do surgeries and go back. They actually stay a little longer perhaps and train a few more people so that we can one day run the entire system with the people who have been trained within this country. And that would be a permanent solution. So I think that is why we are now keen on that. And I'm very happy to tell you that yesterday the Honorable President, he recommitted to this idea. He said, yes, this is what we want to do. We want to build our capacities within our country. And he also mentioned about the government's Blue Ocean vision, which is about including all the Pacific Island nations. And I think this facility, if it opens, it would also train people from around the Pacific Islands. As you know, as the next step, what we are taking is to set up a cardiac screening center in every other island of Fiji, as well as other island nations. So we would need a lot of technicians as well to do this work. So this would be the center which would be able to create that. And I think we would be able to bring a lot of experts from around the world to train the people here. And all this training is going to be free of cost, residential on the campus. So that is the next thing that we are looking at as value addition to the existing services.
I think that will truly be incredible because, of course, we've always had this vision that one day we will have our local medical professionals doing all the work and not having to have visiting teams come through all the time. So I think that's an incredible vision, and I think I'm very excited and looking forward. I think all our members are too. So I think that's a fantastic initiative, Sadhguru. Thank you. We also saw in the video, that you're building the world's largest free hospital, and it's a 600-bed edifice of pure love. I mean, what is your vision for this hospital? And I also heard that, you talked about this new aspect of medical tourism, and that it would be part of this edifice. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
You see, it's not possible to set up super specialty hospitals in every little country that we travel to because lack of manpower, lack of infrastructure and resources. But we thought, why not build a hospital for the world? Now the world is far more connected than in the earlier times. People can travel very quickly to any part of the world. So we thought India has a lot of medical expertise, and India is right now pioneering the cause of global health care. Why not build a hospital for the whole world right there? And not only it would treat patients from around the world for free, but it would also train people locally, since we already have a medical school which has graduate programs right now, but they also have to do specialization. So this hospital would serve that purpose as well. So it would be an extension of the existing 360 bedded facility with another 600 beds coming in. And we are keeping a whole floor entirely available to people from around the world who come for treatment to our hospital. As I said, again, this is absolutely available to anybody and everybody without any financial barriers. Our idea was that if there is a Fijian who needs, let's say, chemotherapy or needs a hip replacement or who needs a neurosurgery or a spine surgery, for which sake mostly the Fijian would travel to Australia or New Zealand or maybe to the US. But I saw that a lot of them are also traveling to India nowadays. But they go to these very expensive private care facilities, which is unaffordable. Either here or there, you end up paying a lot. And as the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister said, and there is a financial ruin or death. Between the two, they are stuck. So it's the devil and the deep sea. There's no choice really. So we want to bring a third option, that if you could travel to India instead of traveling towards Australia, and I hope there are no Australian healthcare professionals, you rather travel to India, come to this hospital, you are just 2 flights away, and you would get absolutely world-class care. And you don't have to spend that kind of money which you would do elsewhere. Now that is something that would also help the people around the world, because we work in a lot of countries. I see in Nigeria or even Sri Lanka or the Americas for that matter, even the US is quite expensive for elderly or people. They are just one healthcare bill away from bankruptcy. For them also, I think plane tickets are not that expensive, especially if it's an elective surgery. You can schedule it, come during the lean times. You will get a cheaper ticket and you will get all the facilities. And I also gave an option that if you would like to, contribute to the hospital, if you are anyway planning to spend some money, you can always donate that money. It will help the next person. But even if you can't, if you can afford a plane ticket, that's good enough. We will take care of the rest. And you have a complete residential campus. Your attenders can stay. Pharmacy is free. As long as you stay, you're on the campus. All the responsibility is on us. So I think that would be a game changer. And I wanted to let the Deputy Prime Minister and also the elder know that this is an option that is coming up very quickly, and this would be ready by November. And we are looking forward to welcoming the whole world, because we call ourselves one world, one family. So we must work for everybody. And I think that 100 beds which have been kept absolutely for people coming from abroad, that would be a huge help to lots and lots of people who cannot afford healthcare in their countries or in their neighboring countries. So I was telling the Excellency, the Commissioner also, that you must make that process a seamless one for the patients who come from Fiji to India on medical tourism. They need a visa which is appropriate to that purpose. So I'm sure we will work together as the government of Fiji, government of India, and our NGOs to make this process extremely convenient and seamless for all the patients who want to come and seek these services.
That's really wonderful, Sadhguru. And I think everyone in the audience is listening, and I'm sure they'll be eager to know, when it's all going to start. And I'm sure many people might want to go.
I don't want them to fall sick and come to the hospitals. Stay healthy.
Well, hopefully they won't. But if they do, they know where they can go now for help.
Bangalore, that is the airport that you must land in.
And it's a beautiful airport, I have to say. It's world class and absolutely beautiful. And the facilities that you build are incredible. So I think we'll all look forward to November and the inauguration of the facility. So Sadhguru, you're leading this mission, in 80 countries, and the focus is healthcare, nutrition, education, and of course, social care. And we know that these are fundamental, human rights, which really are so important. And even yesterday, the president reiterated this. So how can we sensitize more people and more countries to this broad idea in today's current world of, myself and my own? How can we sensitize them to this mission that you have of one world, one family?
Yeah, I believe in a polarized world. As you know, there are haves and there are have-nots. There are people who only think of themselves and they can't think beyond themselves. But then there are also people, who also want to do good to others, but they do not have the capacity to do it at individual level. But when we join hands through these kind of foundations and organizations, we complement each other's capacities. And that's when our synergies lead us to doing more good. So I don't believe that people are intrinsically only selfish. There are good people, and we must connect with all of them and kind of help them join hands. Today, we have the elder from the church without any such narrow mindedness. Oh, this is not my religion, this is not my church. They came forward to support this mission. So, also, there are people who are Muslims, who are Buddhists, who are Christians, and Hindus in this very gathering who have contributed to this hospital. For them, human suffering was the only thing that they could think of. And whoever suffers, God suffers. That is the philosophy. And that is how they all have come together. So I think there are good people. I really do not want to waste a lot of time and energy trying to reform the people who are not open minded. But I think there are a lot of good and open minded people. Let us begin there. They are, so to say, low hanging fruits. You work with them, you enable them to help more people. I think these collaborative efforts can create a new way of thinking in the world. And hopefully, when we are that critical mass, when we can make the shift happen, then the rest of them also would slide over to this side. So my way of doing this one world, one family mission is to really connect with the like-minded people first and make it a force to reckon with. Then the rest of the world would also sit up and take notice of it. And slowly, hopefully, they will also change by getting inspired by this idea. And I think we are gathering a lot of people. I started all alone in 2011 12. Today, there are hundreds and thousands of people working around the world. I did not know them, they did not know me. Like, we did not know each other 10 years ago. But all this has happened because you had that goodness in you. It just needed an opportunity to express itself, and that happened through this foundation. So I truly believe in the power of goodness, and that is the only purpose that we are born with. And as long as we keep doing that, we'll keep evolving as a society. And I think there are many who would contribute and join hands. So we are working with them first, and that is how we would sensitize the others in the process.
So it is a remarkable achievement from what you're saying, Sadhguru, from you working alone to so many people around the world, more than 80 countries. And I know you've traveled far and wide, you've traveled to all these countries, which is not an easy task, I know, with all the different time zones and all the travel, but you really make everyone feel very special. I think you're able to connect with all those individuals, which I think is a skill and a talent that not many can do. And you connect with these people and you connect with their hearts. And I think that is truly special.
I think I learned from Baba that everybody just wants to be loved unconditionally, and that is the most important human aspiration. We don't realize that. We think we need bigger houses or bigger families or bigger positions or more wealth. That's when we feel happy. Maybe we feel a little happy doing that, but we truly feel happy when we feel being loved unconditionally. I think that is my true weapon. Love unconditionally, and people will be yours forever. And that is why so many people have come together.
Thank you.
These are those.
I guess a question that's often on many people's minds, Sadhguru, do you face challenges when you're trying to implement your vision, and how do you overcome them? And also, how can we take a leaf out of your story and implement it in our daily lives?
Nothing can be a challenge for a mother who is determined to save her child. She would go to any extent to do that, isn't it? So challenges will be there everywhere, but when you are so convinced about what you're doing, I think you would be ready to face any kind of challenges, and you would be ready to solve them, provide solutions. Talanoa is about providing solutions, discussing problems and finding solutions. So I think this love, again, I mentioned, I know it sounds like a rhetoric, but the truth is that when you truly love, it gives you all the courage, the intuition, and all the resources come to it when you really want to do it. So have there been challenges? Yes, of course. Everywhere there have been challenges. You have seen for yourself. The first challenge that I faced in the beginning was nobody was convinced about what I was saying. I would say, no, we should do this. We should give education, nutrition, healthcare free to those who need. They say, okay, we will do it on the weekends or we'll do it once in a year. I said, no, I mean to say we will set up institutions which would do it on a regular basis. A lot of people were very overwhelmed by that idea and backed out. Here comes Makarita, isn't it? Are you the same girl who got so? She is such a disruptor, I tell you. I was talking the other day in the hospital. She got operated 2 years ago, and she just comes up and distracts the audience. A happy distraction. Look at that. This is one of the girls who got operated, and she's like everywhere. Yeah. This is the joy. Yeah, this is the joy.
She loves the attention as well.
She's an attention seeker. I noticed that. Yeah. But yeah, so now when you look at this, what is a challenge in front of such a beautiful life that you have saved? Nothing is insurmountable. Everything is okay when you see the results are so beautiful. And as the elder was saying, that he talked to some of the people and he came back inspired, because that is what it is all about. So I think I don't even call it as a challenge. I just say it's a part of the process, and we must accept it and embrace it and do what is needed. So nothing is really a challenge. It is just a part of the process, and we must go through it. But the results are so beautiful. You forget all the labor pains when you see the face of the baby, and that is how this mission is. You forget all the difficulties when you see the results, which are so very beautiful.
What a beautiful thought, and what a beautiful way of looking at how everything can be done. And I think this really teaches us all a lot. I mean, we're all going to face challenges in our lives, but it's how we approach them. So thank you. I think that's very insightful, Sadhguru. And there are many who do social service and philanthropy. How important is it to intertwine spirituality into service, and also how can individuals do good and sort of keep it sustainable, as you said, not on once a year, or do something good on your birthday?
To me, spirituality is selfless love, selfless service. I think there are many definitions of God and religion and things like that, but the philosophy that is underlying is pure selfless love and service. Whichever God does not teach you that cannot be real God. Whichever religion does not teach you that is not real religion. So to me, religion, spirituality, God, all put together is simply selfless love and service. And that is what we are doing. And that is what keeps things going wherever we are going. Without selfless love, if you do anything, it will lead to ego. Even goodness can lead to a lot of ego. There are a lot of charities who say we don't believe in God and spirituality, we nevertheless do good to people. Is that okay? I said it is okay to some extent. But what would happen over a period of time is that you will develop a lot of doership and ego, and you would think you are playing God. And you would actually be antithetic to the entire idea of service, which is to be unconditional, which is to be egoless, which is to be selfless. So spirituality is extremely important, without which, without this understanding of selfless love, unconditional love, egoless love, the whole service can be a wasted effort. So yeah, people will benefit. The beneficiaries will definitely benefit from the service. They'll get the surgery or food or education. But are you growing? Are you evolving? May not, because you haven't become a better person by doing such service which is bereft of spirituality. So I think it's extremely important. But I really don't want to put it into the brackets of very orthodox or extremist religious ideas. I want to keep it open and free, saying that if God is pure love, then the expression of that love as selfless service is the only way to experience that God within and without. And I think that that has been taught by everybody, including Jesus Christ. We have a small place, not small, it's quite big in Nigeria, in a small village in Enugu. It has a school that teaches 1,000 kids, an orphanage, a hospital, and a chapel, everything there. And when they asked me what should be the name of this place, it was run by a Christian priest. So we named it Joy Village. And that stands for Jesus first, others next, yourself last. And that is the way of joy. He was mentioning that there is joy in what we live. I think when you live like this, selfless, God is first, others are next, and you are last in the line. Then I think we are really living that spiritual idea. It doesn't matter which God you believe in or which religion you believe in, as long as you believe in selfless love and service. I think it still is sufficient for you to evolve.
So you're really truly transforming individuals, into better human beings. And I mean, I can personally say this, for me as well, this journey, I feel like I'm a better person than what I was 10 years ago. So I think it's a wonderful thing that you're transforming thousands and thousands of people around the world.
Sadguru, they call you that. That's my main job. Hospitals and schools are secondary. My main job is to transform people. And that is the hardest, let me tell you. Building hospitals is easy. Doing a pediatric cardiac surgery is also easy in front of making a permanent transformation happen in people and make them better versions of themselves. That's a hard work. Yes.
Thank you. And Sadhguru, many times, you've said it many times, that we need a purpose in life. But, this human race is so caught up in the world and just trying to exist. Can you elaborate and give us some practical tips about how we can align our thoughts to this idea and therefore find what our true purpose is?
See, if you go very deep into spirituality, then there is only one purpose, which is to find God. And everything else happens after that. But for some time, let us keep that as aside and just think of, if I'm born on this planet, what am I supposed to do on a daily basis, you see? Whatever gives you true joy, you feel it's effortless, it is free of burden. When you do that, you are living your purpose. So how do you know whether you're living your purpose, whether you're a politician or a doctor or an engineer or a bureaucrat or anybody? When you're feeling joy within every day, you wake up with a winged heart, spring in your steps, you're looking forward to the day, and you're looking forward to doing it again and again without feeling any burden or effort in it. That is your purpose. And that may slowly change as you grow and evolve. You might think that you wanted to be this and you really enjoyed doing that, and after a few years you may really enjoy doing something else. But you must go with the flow. So unless you feel happy every day doing what you're doing, you're not truly living your purpose. You should make a quick correction to the course of your life. If you don't do that, you might be going on the wrong road for far too long. And then you'll make compromises, you'll never be happy. And when you are frustrated, angry, and unhappy, how can you give happiness to anybody else around you? So it's very important that we find that which makes us truly happy. And that is our purpose. The highest purpose, of course, is to find the joy of finding God and realizing that within and without, as I mentioned. And that is the highest joy that you would experience. But that joy is very practical, very experienceable through anything that is selfless. When you do anything unconditionally for anybody else without being duty bound, you feel a sense of joy and happiness. And that is the true purpose, because that is God's joy. However, it is a little subtler thing. On a daily basis, as I said, practically you mentioned, how do I know I'm living my purpose or I'm doing what I was born to do? You should feel happy doing that. It could be anything. You could be a chef, you could be a gardener, you could be a singer, or as I said, a bureaucrat or a businessman. Whatever you are, you must enjoy the process. You must look forward to waking up every day to do that again. So that is how you know whether you're doing your purpose on this earth. And this will lead you to the highest purpose. At the end, you will find that truth, which we are supposed to find. So yeah, this is how I encourage the youngsters who are always confused about what they've got to do, because there are too many people telling them what to do. So sometimes they're not sure. So I tell them, whatever makes you happy. It can't be just eating and sleeping. That is not happy. That's pleasure. That's laziness, and that's a very gross pleasure. You must something that stimulates your mind and heart, and you want to put efforts behind it and gives you joy. You're never tired. That's why when people ask me, how come you're never tired, you're always doing something, I say, because I love doing what I'm doing. And if you tell me not to do what I'm doing, actually you will be causing harm to me, you will be troubling me. So just let me do what I've got to. That's what I tell people. People tell me, oh, relax a bit, rest a bit, don't do this. I said, I can't. You're telling a river, oh, you must be so tired flowing for such a long time. That's the river's job. That's what gives life to the river. If it stops flowing because it's tired, then it stagnates and dies. So that is the purpose. It's effortless living, burden-free living. If you still feel burden, difficulties will be there. Now, don't confuse that with difficulties, challenges. Oh, there are too many challenges. Yes, they will be there. But you don't feel the burden of dealing with those challenges, right? So like a mother, as I mentioned, labor pains are there. But then she is happy because her purpose is to be mother. And then she has to deal with what she has to deal with. So that is the kind of idea that effortless life is the life of purpose.
How simply and beautifully you've explained that. I think that's really wonderful. What do you all think? A round of applause? Sadhguru, in the corporate world, profit is the governing principle, which really drives businesses. And for many, what matters most is profit. And often, many sacrifices are made in pursuing this. I was really inspired when I heard your thoughts on dharmic management. Can you share with the audience today about how to instill human values and goodness into the business and corporate world?
Any organization or any idea or a business that is bereft of a value system would not last, would not stand the test of time. And we have enough examples and more. They may look like they're doing very well for the time being, but eventually they will all collapse. That's the rule. So I think founding your businesses or any organization on the very fundamental principles of doing the right thing always, that is dharmic to me. Dharma is doing the right thing. And that is very fundamental to Indian philosophy. We are always told, you have to do your dharma and it has to be dharmic. What it really means is you base all your activities on this idea, fundamental idea of doing good, doing the right thing. And when you have to make decisions, you make the decisions based on the idea of greater good. So good is the basic fundamental idea. If you're not doing good or you're not doing the right thing, it won't sustain. It won't last. It could be anything. It will never survive the test of time. So I insist upon people to do the right thing. Of course, when there are others who are doing the wrong thing and making more profits or getting ahead of you in this race, and you may feel I'm being left out, Many people say, see, they're all running the business unethically, but they're doing so well. Their stock prices are jumping up and they seem to living a luxurious life. And here I am doing the right thing and I'm not growing. The world does not reward me. They don't recognize me. Then I tell them, you are only seeing the external things about them. Do you know they don't have a good night's sleep because they're always worried about all the wrong that they have done. They know that if they get caught, all this edifice of whatever they've created, the fake one, that will come crashing down. So they never have a happy life. They're frustrated people with mental health issues. They only look good from the outside. So do you want to lead a life like that just because you look like a successful business person? And then they really think deeply and say, no, I do not want that kind of a life where I cannot even go to sleep on a clean pillow of conscience. I do not want to have that life. So that kind of internal assessment of what you want in life. And most of the businesses, unfortunately, money has become equal to success in life. The more money you have, the more successful you are. It doesn't matter if you have so many issues that in this inside the family, within your family, and you are not happy within. They try to kind of suppress that, saying, oh, I'm making more money and more. But the truth is that they're unhappy people inside. And I have met a lot of rich people around the world. They are the most unhappy. They appear to be happy because they've learned to fake it, but they're not really happy. So I tell them, what matters to you? Ask yourself. You want to enjoy your food, you want to enjoy your mornings, you want to enjoy your night's sleep, or you want to be frustrated, angry, anxious, and scared all the time? You choose. And don't follow the wrong examples. Unfortunately, the world is celebrating such wrong ideas, but not for too long. I feel that the next generation is much smarter in this way. They are denying, or they are disapproving that definition of success and which the previous generations have created. You see, by cutting corners also, as long as you have more money, more wealth, more profits, you are a successful person. I think that's changing slowly. As I meet more young people around the world, I get convinced that they don't believe in that as success. They believe in that inner joy, that satisfaction of doing what you have got to do, doing it the right way. And these are the ideas that are slowly gaining ground in most of the countries. So I think things will change with time.
And we have many business people here today who I think will find your words of wisdom very useful and inspiring, and be able to, practically use them in their businesses in terms of how they operate.
As long as they're not taking melatonin to sleep, I think they are successful business people.
Sadhguru, from 2010 onwards, digital transformation has gained traction globally, and social media use, it has become deeply integrated into everyday life with, the launch of Facebook. We've got Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, so many social media platforms. Now, many parents are quite perplexed about how to raise children in this modern age, which is so heavily reliant on social media. And the other thing is, I noted that you spend a lot of time, devote a lot of your time to education, and that it's very close to your heart, and you're also talking about value, educate the world. So what are your thoughts on this global education system, and what advice can you give parents and also educators?
And digital education is here to stay. That is the future of the education around the world. You cannot look away from it. You need to learn how to deal with it. It's like teaching a child how to cut a fruit using a knife and not cut the finger. So it takes a while, lot of parenting, lot of guidance to help children draw boundaries and decide what is right, what is not right. And that means a lot of time has to be spent with the children. The digital addiction part of it is not truly the fault of the children, or simply don't blame it on the very smart or very clever social media ecosystem. A lot of children have taken to this digital addiction because they did not find enough attention and care at their own homes because their parents were too busy. I went to somebody's house and the kid was not eating, and the mother put some video on, and so the kid is watching the video of some cartoon or character, and here mother is going on putting food in the kid's mouth. Kid is not even realizing what it's eating because he's so involved in watching the digital media. Now, who created this issue? Did the child create or the mother create? No. If mother had to spend half an hour convincing the child and feeding the child, mother has no time. So Put on something and the child is distracted and you keep feeding quickly and that fellow is swallowing without even realizing what he has eaten. One of the parents in our schools, came complaining to me saying, "Oh, you trained the child so well in the school, but he came for a holiday, and during summer vacations, he has got so addicted to the phone, he just doesn't listen. And if you take it away, he gets angry. Unfortunately, all the training that you gave is all going waste." I said, "I did not send him with the smartphone to his holiday. Who gave him the smartphone in the first place? You gave. Now you deal with it. You won't believe, but in our medical school, no personal devices are allowed. In our schools, there are no personal devices. Yes, they all have access to laptops and computers, which is given by the institution, but no personal devices. I tell, no, I don't want you to make digital friends or Facebook friends. Make real friends. There are human beings around you. Talk to them. Develop some social skills. And that is what we have done because we want to spend time with each other. It's the fault of the parenting system which has tried to outsource all the parenting to digital media. They do not want to sit with the child and deal with all his tantrums. And that is where the problem starts. So, parenting is a very responsible job. It is not by default that you become parents. It is a huge responsibility. If you don't take care of your kids well, you are creating a monster for the whole society tomorrow. And I'm seeing this happen everywhere. You cannot come back and cry later that my child is not listening or getting angry or frustrated. That's because you did not take good care of it right in the beginning. So I insist that parents should take their job seriously, that is parenting, spend time with their children, understand them, help them understand them, their family values, and that requires a lot of time to be spent. So it is some sacrifice has to be made. Two income families or nuclear families or broken families nowadays, it's a huge disaster for children. So it's not their fault. So digital media or digital devices, digital education is here to stay. We rather work on finding ways of dealing with it in a proper way. And that requires a good balance of personal time being spent with children and some exposure to the digital stuff as well, because they need to live in that digital world tomorrow. So that balance has to be struck, and that requires a lot of time to be spent with the children, right? So that is the responsibility of the parents, and they cannot shy away from that.
I think that's wonderful advice to many, many parents who are here, including myself. So thank you. Spend time with your children. And Sadhguru, substance abuse, it's of great concern all over the world and now in Fiji as well. And due to the increase in illicit drug use, in Fiji, we actually also have a HIV epidemic. We read about this every day in the newspapers, we see this on television. And as a doctor, I'm really concerned about its impact on society. So how do we ensure that our youth gain enough inspiration to stay away from these negativities? And how do we inspire the youth to become more exemplary citizens of our nation?
I will ask a fundamental question. Why do we do anything that we do in life? It is to gain some joy, some pleasure, some happiness, right? If it is giving you some greater happiness, that's when you want to move towards it. Now, why are the youths seeking happiness in such things is my question. Why they could not find happiness in many other things that do exist in the world? Something is wrong with the very societal or the cultural structure of the place, because these youngsters are naturally at that point in time in their age, in their life cycle, are seeking some joy, some happiness, and they do not know where to find it. If they had good friends, probably they would have found joy in their friendship. If they were getting good education, probably they would have found joy in that intellectual stimulation. If they were artists, they would have found joy in expressing themselves through their art or sports. But somewhere these opportunities did not come to them, I'm sure, where they could have experienced that joy in some other way. So they are finding joys in these grosser things, in these carnal things, because their minds are not stimulated, their intellects are not stimulated, their hearts are not excited. And we have to create a structure in the society where every young boy or girl has an opportunity to express himself or herself in a more meaningful way. Nobody is an accident. And if somebody in our schools also tell that this student is absolutely useless. I say it can't be, because God can't make such mistakes of creating useless things. He has a plan and a purpose for that child too, who apparently seems like good for nothing. But there is a plan, and find that plan, and then help that child work on that plan and express himself or herself. Then that child is not looking for these easier substitutes for joy and pleasure. So, somewhere as a society, we have collectively failed to give opportunities to our children to express themselves, which will make them happy. And that is the reason and this problem is not just here, and it's everywhere. I travel around the world. I was in Mexico just a while ago, and I've seen what's happening there. The whole of Latin American countries, even the US, Africa. Now, these are issues because we are trying to seek joy in lower things, where there are other things available. If available, we can find joy in that. So I think as a society, the first thing we should do is to provide those opportunities for our kids. They have to be in the school. That is the first thing. If they're out of school, then they're into all these things. And not some just any school. The school should have that kind of an environment which excites the child to learn, to grow, to evolve, to find joy in doing greater things. And that has not happened. Collectively, as governments, as society, as a humanity, we have failed our children, and that's why these things are growing. Having said that, I'm not saying that all of it can be arrested and controlled. Yes, there will be some people with very strong tendencies, and it's difficult to salvage them. But I'm sure 90% of them have gone into such wrong ways because they did not have a greater idea of what to do with themselves, or even if they had, they did not know, or they did not have the opportunity to work on that. And that opportunity has to be provided by the society to them. If their parents cannot afford it, the society must come together to rescue them. Governments must come together. And we are so connected as a world now that if a problem happens in one country, you can't look the other way, because that would reach your country sooner or later. So we have to invest in the whole world now because of these kind of interdependencies. So my call to the governments, to the society, to parents, to schools, to everyone is that, please make sure that every child is meaningfully engaged. They have something to do when they wake up in the morning, and they just don't while away their time roaming around and falling into these wrong ways. And police, law, and things, they can only control things to some extent. It is not the permanent solution. Permanent solution is as a meaningful engagement with the children. And the society must take the responsibility. That is why I'm very, very, very particular about good education for all children. And I keep telling, till every child is in the school, is fed and looked after, our work does not stop. So that is how I think we can solve this problem. I don't see there are quick fixes available for such problems.
Such a responsibility that the society has, individuals, parents, the whole community. And I think what you're doing in terms of educating children, and especially rural children who may have no opportunities, is remarkable. And I know that you mentioned, and we talked a little bit about education, and you place a lot of emphasis and empowerment of girls through several initiatives in your institutions. And I have a question about equality. Sadhguru, we know that physiologically men and women are different.
Even psychologically, they're different.
Yes, you are right. But what women globally fight for is largely about equality as a cerebral opportunity. So I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on this, and how can society change this notion so that women can achieve true equality?
You're right. Physically, we can't compete with each other. Even mentally or psychologically, we think differently, we are wired differently. So our response to the same stimuli is, emotional or intellectual, rational or not rational. This is how we are built. So even between two men, it is different, right? So that way, equality cannot be achieved. But what can be done is equal opportunities. This is where I think equality should be understood. Give them equal opportunities and let them do what they can do with it based on their personal ideas or personal capacities. But if you don't even give them the opportunity, you don't even know how can they be equal then. So education is an equal opportunity. Employment is an equal opportunity. or any other access to any other such social opportunities must be there for everyone equally. And I really do not want, and while yeah, I understand that many countries take to this idea of reservations because they think that okay, the women or the lesser or whatever have nots haven't got the same opportunities, so they want to bring them up. I'm perfectly okay, but that is not a permanent solution. Permanent solution is right from the very beginning, everybody should be given the opportunity to get educated in an equal system, so they have access. Then what happens later is depending on their own personal capacities. So you can't tell that, oh, everybody should be a doctor just because there should be equality. No, there'll be people will be doctors, there will be nurses too. So it depends on their intellectual capacities. But the opportunity to educate was there for both. One could avail to become a doctor, one could remain a nurse, depending on their, as I said, IQ and various other factors. So yes, giving them the opportunity is the first thing. Financial reasons or gender being the reason or geography or religion cannot be the reason why some have been given opportunity and some have not been given such an opportunity to educate oneself. So begin with education is what I tell. Let every girl go to school. Let every girl learn. What she does with it is her choice. And at the employment level, please do not do favoritism because then you will create mediocrity in the society. I'm like, you are a girl and you're a doctor, right? Suppose you came up and became a doctor without competing with anybody. You know, you just passed and became a doctor. I'm not sure how many people would like to get treated by you there. I know you have competed equally with all the people in the world, men, women, everybody, and you've earned that degree by your hard work. Not because you are a girl and government decided that girls should get extra opportunities, so we will give them, even if they don't pass, we'll make them doctors. So that is not equality. Equality should happen in education by giving opportunity. Now, based on your capacity, you avail the opportunity. Just because you're a girl, you're not allowed to go to the school. Just because you're a girl, you're not allowed to do certain things. I am against that. But at employment level, I don't think we should have, I know this is a strong word, but reservations like this. But we still have reservations because unfortunately we didn't give them the opportunity in the first place. So start at the school level is what I say. Create opportunities there for all children. Men, women, doesn't matter. Later, do not try to force fit this idea of equality into the system. That is how I would think is equal opportunity.
So such an So I guess so much importance on education and good values education. And I think we need to thank our Fijian government as well because the public school system here is free. And so every child has the option and the opportunity to study.
I'm a great admirer of Fijian government from that point of view. Education is, they've made it available to everybody if they choose to study. And that's the first level of equality, I think. Great work.
So Sadhguru, we're coming towards the end of, I've got this one last question and then we'll open up the floor to whoever would like to ask questions. We know that globally there are many conflicts today ranging from economic policies to war. And in your view, what is the most urgent and under-addressed humanitarian crisis in the world today?
I think the very first thing that should happen in the world is that everybody should have food on in their plate or on their table. We haven't achieved that. That's very sad to me. Like without food, how do you even function? And today still there are, I am told, 800 million people who go to bed hungry every night. What kind of world have we created? We have $100 trillion GDP, global GDP. At the same time, hundreds of millions of people who just do not even have access to something as fundamental as food, a nutritious meal. How can we call it a world which is fair to everybody? It's not. So I think, yes, education has to happen, healthcare has to be democratized, so many other things like gender equality has to happen. All these are higher ideas, but if you don't even have food in your stomach, how do you even think or function? So I think the first thing we should do as collective effort around the world is to ensure that nobody is going hungry, especially children. Elders can still survive. They can stay hungry 2 or 3 days and then manage. But kids, that's why the nutrition program in the morning we started saying at least they should have one good nutritious meal to begin the day. How will they even to study if they don't even have food in their stomach? And we can't give them the entire, 6 course menu, but at least to begin with something every day. They can't just be hungry. You can't have hungry children in a world like ours. So that is why we were very particular. So I think the first level of fundamental right, if I think of, is access to nutritious food. And if we haven't achieved that, we haven't achieved anything in the world. Even if we have reached moon or Mars or even beyond, I don't think we should be too proud of ourselves if we haven't given food to everybody in the world through some way or the other. And that's extremely, that's cruelty, that's crime against humanity if as a world we haven't achieved that. So I think first thing I would like to solve is that. Next is of course education and healthcare. So this is why nutrition, education and healthcare are 3 fundamental pillars of this mission.
Right. I guess you're right. When you've got an empty stomach, how can you think of anything else? And I really like this initiative that you have, each one educate one. So if if you were given education, you try and educate someone. And you also talk about, the fact that if you've eaten a meal, make sure that somebody else gets a meal as well, feed someone. And I think that if we all did this and if the whole world did this, nobody in this world would go hungry.
That's the idea. If each one of us took a little additional responsibility for another person whom we are not duty bound toward, I think things would start changing. It doesn't take much to give one more meal to a person, at least one meal for the day. And that's not too much. We are not asking for, as I said, a huge 5-star luxury food. It is just basic nutrition. I think we can begin, all of us can begin there. And if we have finished our education, our kids are all finished their education, we still can teach somebody's kids, we can still help some kids somewhere. And if we are healthy, we have no healthcare bills. May God bless us that we don't ever fall sick. But then we have saved something because we never fell sick. I think that saving can go to help somebody who is falling sick like a child born with a heart disease. Now, the child did not decide to be born or did not do anything wrong to be born with a hole in the heart. It's fate, it's pure destiny. Now, what can the mother do? What can the father do about it? You eat wrong food and you become diabetic, that's your problem. You created it for yourself. But the baby is born with a hole in the heart. It's not baby's fault. That baby has to be supported by somebody. So if you don't have a hole in your heart, you must help somebody with a hole in the heart. Yeah, that is how we should think about our responsibilities.
Sadhguru, this has been such a wonderful session. I thoroughly enjoyed asking you all these questions. And I know a lot of these are topical things that many people in the audience were probably, interested in knowing about. And the fact that how simply you explain things and in such a simple manner that, all of us can understand. And I think so many words of wisdom. It's been such an incredible session, I feel. So thank you. Thank you for all your time and for explaining everything so beautifully. So now we'd like to invite people in the audience. If you have any questions, please raise up your hands and we have a team of people who will bring about a mic.
Sadhguru, you've spoken so beautifully about spirituality and having a strong spiritual foundation. Can you please explain to us the difference between religion and spirituality? It will be helpful for all of us.
Spirituality is the knowledge. Religion is the school that teaches that knowledge. So religion comes with rules and regulations and do's and don'ts. It's like somebody is learning about gravity in an English medium school versus a Fijian school versus a Tamil or Hindi school. They all learn about gravity. Everybody teaches that there is something called gravitational force, but they learn it in different languages, right? Likewise, different religions are teaching us the same fundamental knowledge, the truth that God exists and God exists in all of us. But they teach it differently. Somebody calls God as one with form, somebody calls God without a form and without a name. So these are various ways of looking at the same knowledge. That's why in India they say Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahudha Vadanti. There is only one truth spoken by the wise men in many ways. So nobody is wrong, nobody is right. But at the end of it, we must realize that fundamental principle of Godhood does exist. And that exists in all of us, in everything. So That is spirituality to me. And the way it's being taught through various worships and rituals and rules and regulations, that is religion. So it's like a school and the subject kind of a comparison is what I would think.
Thank you, Sadhguru, and your each word has been very inspirational and motivational, and I guess everyone is enjoying the session. I'm Ronil from Roncast, and I'd like to thank you for all inspiration you have given. As far as I know, the main cause of hatred and cheating and everything is the desires, the anger, the ego, and also the greed. So, how can a normal individual overcome these four obstacles of Kam, Krodh, Mad, and Lobh?
I think the fundamental root cause, as per Indian philosophy, is a wrong understanding or wrong knowledge. Avidya, they call it. Your understanding of the purpose of life, why you are born, what is your goal. If it all goes wrong, it's like not knowing where you are going. You'll sit in the wrong bus naturally and reach a wrong place. So it starts with the wrong understanding of what is life all about, what is the purpose of life, and what are you here to do. Once you don't know that, then you will do everything wrong. All this, what you said, kama, krodha, will follow the person who has no idea of why that person is here in the world in the first place. So the solution is right knowledge. Right knowledge of why you are here, what's your purpose, what are you going to do here. And as I said, the main reason why we are here is to do good, to do greater good, if I can put it that way. Good to yourself, yes, it's nice to be good to yourself, but good to others. So if you think that as the main purpose, then that is the knowledge which should drive your thoughts, words, and actions after that. If your thoughts are selfish, then you know that it's not to be, because this is not leading to greater good. This is very, very selfish. Likewise, your words which are not useful, not constructive, not helpful, you would not speak those words because that's not leading to greater good, or actions for that matter. So I think that fundamental idea, the right knowledge, which we call as vidya, there is three things, avidya, kama, and karma is what in Indian philosophy they say. Avidya is wrong knowledge or ignorance. Kama is wrong desires that are born out of wrong knowledge. And karma, wrong actions born out of wrong desires. So the whole problem starts with wrong understanding of yourself and why you are here in this world. So if you rightly understand why you're here is to do greater good to others, in whichever ways, as a musician, as a teacher, as a leader, as a businessman, doesn't matter. But if you're doing greater good, I think you'll have good thoughts, good words, and good actions. And all these other ideas, wrong ideas or wrong desires, wrong actions will disappear. So that has to be fundamentally taught to everybody. And when we don't know that, then we become selfish, self-centered, we develop wrong desires, and that wrong desire leads to wrong actions, which is what this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, and all this is about. My only request to everybody is that, we come across inspiration once in a while in our lives, not every day. But if we come across, we must consider ourselves lucky, and we must act upon that inspiration before it fades away like many other times. So I think action is what matters at the end. And I want everybody to act on it to improve yourself as a human being, because that's the first contribution you make to a society by being a better person. And then see what you can do for people around you to improve their lives as well in your own circle of influence. And if you can join hands, then the synergies that comes out of it is much more. As I say, the sum total is greater than its parts. So that kind of thing can happen. So do join hands with the organizations that are around you and help each other to do more good to more people in more ways. That is my only request. Everybody should be better. Whole Fiji should be better. Whole world should be better by the next year. With these words, and as they say, God bless Fiji, God bless the world. I conclude. Thank you very much.